Legally, their hands are tied. He can be on the property if he wants to be.
Parents demanding answers tonight after a man facing a child sex crime charge was allegedly allowed on a local school campus.
Born and raised here, never seen anything like this. Unbelievable.
And the death toll keeps rising in St. Louis after deadly storms swept through the city this afternoon. Next, the newest updates from leaders there.
We're all quiet right now weather-wise, but we'll have to turn our attention back to live radar again tomorrow evening as another round of storms moves through the area. We'll track how it could impact your weekend plans. All coming up here in just a few.
Covering news where you live. This is 5 News at 10.
And thanks for joining us. I'm Darren Bob. The weekend is upon us. Scott, we saw some storms pop up in Scott County. We are not done, though, with chances of rain, at least for the next several days.
We'll have chances the next few days, but here's the thing folks should keep in mind as they make their weekend plans. It's not going to rain all day, every day. There's going to be chances here and there. Let's take a look at live radar right now. This is what we're tracking. Those storms that fired up, that cap, it broke. It held a really long time. It eventually broke, and you saw those thunderstorms develop. We did have a warning there for Scott County. Those have since pushed into portions of central Arkansas. 2-inch in diameter hail right outside of Hot Springs happening right now. All quiet on the homestead here. That's going to be the case into the overnight hours. Tomorrow's forecast looks like this. We'll wake up with partly sunny skies out there. Temperatures down into the 50s overnight tonight. By lunchtime, mostly sunny, 78. Expect those clouds to build in later in the afternoon into the evening. And not before we warm up into the low to mid 80s out there. Most of the day is going to be just fine, but tomorrow evening, another batch of showers and storms, some of which could be severe, likely moving into the area. The key with tomorrow is not a washout, but if you have evening plans, and I know there's still a few graduations out there tomorrow evening, you're going to want to try to weatherproof those plans. We'll walk through the latest timing of tomorrow's risk of storms, as well as Sundays and Mondays as well, all coming up right here in just a few.
All right, Scott, thanks. And of course, you remember anytime a severe storm fires up, Scott and the rest of the weather team will be there tracking it on 5+. If you don't have 5+ to your smart TV just yet, text the word plus 785-5000. Teacher will teach you or tell you how you can download that to your smart TV. Yeah, incredible scenes out of St. Louis tonight after a man is pulled out of the rubble of his home. A tornado tore through the city this afternoon. It killed at least 5 people and leveling countless buildings. Here's what we know about this tonight. Dozens of people have been rushed to the hospital after being injured in that storm. Parts of the city right now under a curfew as crews continue to look through damaged buildings. Missouri's Governor Mike Kehoe says search and rescue teams have already been deployed. At least one of the 5 deaths happened at a church after the roof there collapsed.
The neighbors, the homes, the residents, the members of the church, the place where we serve and engage work on behalf and with our neighbors, our hearts are broken.
Right now, emergency shelters are being set up to house people without shelter following that storm. Teams from the National Weather Service will be out there tomorrow and through the weekend to survey the damage there. New at 10 tonight, parents at Jim Rollins School of Innovation in Springdale demanding answers. They want to know why a man accused of distributing, possessing, and viewing child pornography could be on the campus around their children. 5 News reporter Kayla Davis spoke with parents about their concerns.
Investigators searched Nathaniel Floor's Fayetteville home earlier this year and say they found 16 sexually explicit files involving a child in his possession. That led to his arrest last Wednesday. Floor was released from jail 6 hours later after paying a $25,000 cash bond. According to prosecutors, the court didn't set any conditions of release. I spoke with parents who say just days later, Floor was allowed inside their children's elementary school, and now they want answers. After learning of Nathaniel Floor's arrest, Alicia Roberts says she and other parents called Rollins Elementary School to ensure he wouldn't be allowed on campus. But after asking her daughter questions, Roberts learned it was too late.
She said, I was assistant admin on Friday. And that's when it came out that he came into the office, and then the office assistants asked her to escort him down to the music room, and then I guess the music room was locked. So then she took him to the elevator, and they waited for about 2 minutes, she said.
Multiple parents tell 5 News Floor was bringing coffee to his wife as she volunteered at the school last Friday.
He called his wife. Then they went back to the office, and she said it was about 5 minutes or so before his wife showed up.
Roberts says she had no say in how to protect her child because of the school's lack of communication. Now she and other parents like Kristen Mercado have pulled their kids out of class for the rest of the school year.
We need answers.
According to Mercado, a public meeting with the principal scheduled for Tuesday was canceled. But she says about 15 parents still showed up wanting their questions answered. While campus administrators didn't show up, Mercado says the school district's director of student services and a communications representative did.
They said legally their hands are tied. He can be on the property if he wants to be.
The Washington County Prosecuting Attorney's Office tells 5 News Washington County Circuit Judge Joanna Taylor set Floor's bond and did so without conditions for release.
Then they're just released. They're free to go.
5 News asked Judge Taylor and the deputy prosecuting attorney for an interview Friday. Both said they were unavailable. We also asked to interview Springdale School District officials who instead released a statement. It reads, quote, "The Springdale School District's top priority is safety. We strictly follow all state laws on reporting abuse and restricting sex offenders. Plus, we have a comprehensive safety plan that includes visitor background checks with Raptor, strong partnerships with school resource officers, and our own dedicated commissioned school safety officers, all to ensure a secure learning environment for every student." Now parents are asking for better communication and policy change.
It needs to be changed in an elementary school and even middle schools, honestly any schools, to where a student is not allowed to lead around an adult. A stranger or anyone.
The Washington County Prosecutor's Office says at Floor's arraignment on June 4th, they will ask the judge to set conditions restricting him from areas where kids gather, like schools and parks. We'll keep you updated. Kayla Davis, 5 News.
All right, Kayla, thanks. Tonight, an historic case for Benton County. A Rogers man, the first to be convicted of aggravated death by delivery of fentanyl in the county. Enrique Valdez was handed a 73-year prison term after changing his plea to guilty. Before that sentence was finalized, Valdez apologized to Charles Gephardt's family for the role he played in their loved one's death. Rogers police began investigating this in 2023 after Gebhardt was found dead. An autopsy later confirmed fentanyl intoxication. Investigators found Valdez was the one who supplied the drugs. Gephardt's mom says the conviction brings her some closure and helps her now move forward.
First year and a half has been pretty grueling, and so I'm able to move forward in my grief now and have this weight off, in a sense, and like I said, turn pain into purpose.
Valdez will serve his sentence in the Arkansas Department of Corrections. He'll be eligible for parole after 26 years. One man dead after being shot by Arkansas State Police in Crawford County. It happened this morning just outside the Hilltop truck stop off I-49 in Rudy. 5 News reporter Parker Abels tells us what led to this shooting.
It all started Friday morning when police say they got a call about a man driving erratically on I-40 between Van Buren and Alma. Turns out the man was a suspect in a domestic disturbance in Fort Smith.
Ultimately encountered him. He had pulled a gun and fled. Officers tried to get him to stop, and in that, had pointed the weapon in a way that the officers felt like they were in danger, and they returned fire, and he's deceased.
The suspect killed has not been identified yet. Crawford County Prosecutor Kevin Holmes walks us through the next steps.
Yeah, so next step would be that Arkansas State Police CID, Criminal Investigation Division, will do a full investigation. They'll ultimately turn it over to me to make a decision on whether the shooting was justified. I went out on scene, kind of walked through a little bit with them about just where it was and what had happened. But yeah, we'll wait to get that.
The officers will now go on leave as the investigation continues.
I believe they will go on leave pending an investigation internally, and then pending an investigation with ASP CID.
In Rudy, covering news where you live, Parker Abels, 5 News.